this is Kara from Kara Tarot with a general reading for Saturday, November 8th. I'm reading with the Hieronymus Bosch Tarot. I've already shuffled and cut the cards, and the layout that I'm doing is one I've done several times by my friend Denise at Tarot of Dreams 80. Body, mind, spirit. I know a lot of people do mind, body, spirit, but to me it makes more sense to go out of the body into the mind and from the mind to the spirit. Just that's the way, because I don't think the body leads to the spirit. That's me. So body, mind, spirit. External influences. Internal influences. Bottom of the deck. And middle of the deck. Again, I'm just getting familiar with this deck, and the structure of this deck is completely different, so there may be more pauses or more edits. Okay, so body. Skates are a combination of metal and water. The Queen of Skates, gossip, new information, and rudeness. So the body wants to be very self-centered, and it wants to be focused on the past. Even seems to be a letter here, like holding grudges, even though there are new information, but still holding grudges from the past with a lot of passion in it. The mind. The Baron of Coins. Now, we've seen this card before. The Baron of Coins. Coins in this deck are all of the negative aspects of the Pentacles suit. They are the mercenary, commercial, monetary trading that goes on. So we've got him gesturing to this bag with this gargoyle type creature, also grasping onto the bag, kind of showing it to this person, this queen, but not letting her have it. This is wasting money, loss of money, sham charity, pretending to be charitable. So the mind, I would say, being generous, the mind is concerned with these issues of falsity and reparation, and is kind of directing it at her, at this rudeness and gossip and old information and new information. This could be us as we react to all of the false information that we're being fed on a daily basis. It could be on a more personal level. It could be that you are having to constantly guard yourself. Your mind is constantly having to guard yourself against the bombardment of false information, and so that you aren't falling victim to sham charity. And we do. I mean, it has become the norm now for us that we have to constantly guard ourselves with emails that bombard us, phone robocalls that bombard us, that we have to constantly be on our guard against this gossip and rudeness and wasting of money. The spirit, oh, death. Transformation, death. Now this is more like the older interpretation of the majors, and that this is also a possible bad luck. But since this is for the spirit, I would say if it were in the body, I would, or the mind, body or mind, I would take that on. But given the position of this as being in the spirit, I would say that this is more about the transformation element. and that attempting to look around the door to forward instead of focusing on these things in the back. The internal influences: temptation, desire, sex, passion, greed. This in a normal suit would be the devil card. That would be the devil is the temptation of Adam and Eve. Just in case. So an internal, we always have internal, and maybe I'm extrapolating from myself, but I think we all always have internal temptations. We have, I'm going to get philosophical for a minute. That's why I never bought Jimmy Carter's whole line about sinning with the mind, because if your mind thought it, then you might as well have done it. I don't buy that, because I do think there's a difference between being internally tempted and acting on it, because that is where your faith and your spirit and your mind step in and say no. Say, no, that's not who I want to be. That's not the life I want to live. So I'm not going to act on my temptation. So I don't think it's neither here nor there that you're having internal temptation. The question is whether you act on it. And that's where you want to be, resting here with your spirit. Like this character would be all about. Your mind is, or this character is all about this temptation and wanting to spread the news about it. This character would want to use that temptation for personal gain. This wants to transition away from it. External factors. The Prince of Coins. Again, we have the negative aspect of coins and money. Charity, but this is a rare. This deck tends to be, because it's Bosch, it tends to be kind of negative, but this is a rare positive coin. This is charity, assistant, parenthood, fathers, and children. So it is very much like the traditional 6 of coins in a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, in terms of this is the generosity, the kindness, assistance, caring for others. So be grateful that you have this. This is your external factors. This is not just external factors acting on you. This is how you're presenting. And so you are stepping away from these temptations, and you're acting with your best spirit, and that's the goal. Now, the bottom of the deck, I often take that this is, whatever this is, most of the time this is a reverse meaning, unless it fully matches something else that's here, in which case I take it as a reinforcement. The Conjurer, abilities, creation, deception. Okay, so I would take this as that, it's not necessarily reinforcing anything here. And I'm going to take a moment and look this one up in this book. At his core, the conjurer is a performer, actor, and storyteller. This is a creative person who can spin gold out of straw and who possesses a healthy dose of sales ability. Any deception indicated by this card is not malicious. More likely, it is information that has not yet been realized. However, as I said, I usually think this is a reversed meaning, because it's from the bottom of the deck. So this could go along with the rudeness here. This reinforces this, not having that sales ability, not having that charm, not having the performance ability. So you're just acting in a very straightforward manner, which is good given that this is how those interactions are going. So you don't need all of the subterfuge. You don't need sleight of hand. Because you have this generosity and charity going for you. And at the heart of the matter, from the center of the deck, and also taking this as an action card, the Lovers. Trust, romance, and love. Interesting, we have this pairing showing up here. There isn't really anything showing there, but just in case. Just in case the algorithm pretends that there is. So a lovely way to end this reading today. So this is reinforcing this transformation. This is where you want to end up. This is where this wants to end up. Stepping away from these aspects and moving away from the conjuring aspect and just being forthright and trusting in the moment and making the choice, because the Lovers usually represents a choice, making that choice consistently. And that is, again, what this temptation is about, is that are you going to be tempted or are you going to make the right choice? So a really unified message today from these cards, which I think is quite wonderful. And I am going to add an oracle card. I often add a Capper card, and this is from Loteria Remedios Oracle that I've been using this week. La Bandera, the flag. And this is Rally, Change, and Surrender. It's time to wave your flag high so that you may discover who is ready to join your team or cause. This could mean attracting a potential mate, business partner, or even an entire group of people to rally around a worthwhile effort. If this is your charge to lead, be sure you believe in the mission fully before unfurling the banners. Well, this really has a larger significant relevance, especially given that these could be these larger external influences of what bodies are being subjected to and what's on our national mind. This definitely could be a reference to that. The blank canvas of the flag, with that not having any colors or emblems, could also mean it's time for a new vision. And sometimes we reach a point where there's nothing more we can do in a situation, and letting go of any semblance of control is the best action. That is the opposite suggestion. It may be time to consider whether you will strive to keep systems in place or work towards sensible, necessary change. So the two sides of this are either giving in or working for change. And each one of us has to make that decision. And as much as I think most of this reading today was for personal and interpersonal stuff, all of it applies to the larger scale things that we are dealing with. And this is a reminder that the personal is the public. What goes on in how you transform yourself, how you evidence charity, how you love others, all of those things are an outer emblem. They are the flag. And then the question is, are you also going to apply that to the larger things and the larger themes and problems going on in your life? A big rallying cry for today. I hope that's meaningful for you. It certainly was meaningful for me. I'm greatly enjoying getting to know this deck with its unique system, which I don't always enjoy. But this is where the artwork of Bosch really takes us over the top in terms of my enjoyment of this deck. I think it's a beautiful deck and highly evocative. However, as with his artwork, largely focused on the darkness. And this is a note about Hieronymus Bosch. he was intentionally painting about what he saw to be the ills of society and the ills of the world as a call towards spiritual transformation, as a call away from these things towards Christianity. That was his specific purpose. He was actually, from what I've read and heard about him, he was almost a religious zealot. And so his paintings were very purposefully aligned with his belief structure. And for that reason, they are dark, because he saw the world as a dark place of desires and temptations and bad dealings and a bad culture in general that was, he felt, sucking us all down into an abyss. So that's just a note on Bosch, and it certainly explains why his imagery, fantastical as it is remains relevant, because I think we're always enmeshed in these battles between good and evil, and having to wave our flag and let the bluebird of happiness lead us towards our highest transformation and best self. Well, thanks for listening to me blather. Have a strong, committed, and spirit-led day. Thank you.